of America. Trump versus the AI giant Anthropic. Ordering a federal ban on Anthropic as Trump's big statement, and this move is now concerned because he seems to have labeled Anthropic as a radical left woke company. Now, as far as the 6-month phase-out deadline has been set, and Trump has now said to the US government that you need to stop using Anthropic and they will not do any business with them. As in the meantime, Anthropic has also taken up this legal battle, saying that they are now taking Pentagon to court as the AI startup has now rejected Pentagon's demand. Face-off that seems to have now continued over what is now being deemed as an unrestricted use. So this is a high-stakes standoff there, which has now been witnessed between Donald Trump administration and the artificial intelligence startup Anthropic, which seems to be sparking fears in the Silicon Valley and across Capitol Hill and across the K Street of a fundamental shift in balance of power between Washington and the AI industry. So in the meantime, let's also get you what President Trump has said, because this is a fiery attack that has now come on the company that has now escalated the feud, as he has ordered a government-wide boycott of Anthropic and has now threatened the company with prosecution if it doesn't cooperate with the agencies. So let's put out on Truth Social what Donald Trump has said, that the United States of America will never allow a radical left woke company to dictate how a great military fights and win wars. That decision belongs to your commander-in-chief and tremendous leaders I appoint to run our military. The left-wing nut jobs, as he says, at Anthropic have made disastrous mistake trying to strong-arm the Department of War and force them to obey their terms of services instead of our Constitution. Their selfishness is now putting American lives at risk, our troops in danger, and our national security in jeopardy. And therefore, I'm directing every federal agency in the United States government to immediately cease all use of Anthropic's technology. We don't need it, we don't want it, and we will not do business with them again. There will be a 6-month phase out. The period for the agencies like Department of War who are using the act together. And when it comes to the Anthropic's products at various levels, because Anthropic better get their act together and be helpful during the phase-out period, or I will use the full power and presidency to make them comply with major civil and criminal consequences to follow. And this, meanwhile, has now come back with Anthropic also saying that they will be, taking up this fight legally against Pentagon. Let's, in the meantime, go across. We have Hina, Sumita. We also have Kritika and Srinjoy who continue to be with us. Trump versus the AI giant Srinjoy. Because Anthropic, as far as this federal ban that has now been ordered, this is coming across as a big move because we just put out Donald Trump's statement. He's been calling the company as a radical left woke company.
It's one thing for a company to be ideologically positioned. But the point is, what has it done? It may have a view about something in life, but how has it harmed the War Department, the Defense Department of the United States? That's really the question. What its ideological bias is something else. Someone may feel in a certain way, but if you have to take action against someone, the person or organization or firm has to have done something wrong. So what is it that Anthropic has done wrong? That's not very clear. Secondly, what does it mean if Anthropic is stopped from doing any work at a federal level? What can it do at a state level? Can it do some work for California? Not necessarily related to defense, naturally, because that's a federal thing, but on other issues. Thirdly, as far as Anthropic is concerned, it can do other work anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it wants to go to court. So, like the 6-3 verdict that Trump faced, is this going to be another verdict of that kind? So there is a lot that is going to happen in the near future.
All right, let's get a better understanding exactly, because what does it mean and why is Anthropic and President Trump seems to be at odds? Let's get in a word from Sumita as well. Because Sumita, President Trump's announcement is coming after the AI startup, which is known for its conversational AI assistant Claude, apparently refused Pentagon's demand to agree to its unconditional military use of the Claude model. So what does it mean?
statement that is coming in, and it's a big case. It's brewing in the United States. Of course, it is Anthropic versus the Department of War, and how it's played out. We've all seen how things have panned out since the past couple of hours. So essentially, there are two issues that Anthropic has with respect to the demands that are being made by Pentagon. It says Anthropic says that it cannot sort of deploy frontier AI systems cannot be deployed to power fully autonomous weapons. The second claim that it makes is that systems for mass domestic surveillance, they are incompatible with democratic values. So, of course, Anthropic is standing by. It is maintaining those firm red lines as far as these two issues are concerned. And, of course, it is stating that the threats by Department of War will not help it change its position. Now, it's very important to understand what these two things essentially mean. One is mass surveillance, which is not legal, by the way. Then deployment of AI in autonomous weapons. Now, this aspect becomes important because China reportedly is rapidly deploying AI across military, the People's Liberation Army, to achieve intelligence warfare. And this sort of warfare will be focused on autonomous drone, robo swarms, AI-driven surveillance, and faster decision-making. And that is something that we've also sort of gathered from the tweets by the Department of War, including its several representatives as well. And in fact, China is fast also gaining patents for swarm intelligence, with respect to AI. So, of course, there are concerns with respect to the legality of these claims that have been made. But at the same time, what we're seeing, competitor Sam Altman of OpenAI has reached an agreement with the Department of War, and this essentially is to deploy the models in the classified network.
Interesting development, Sumita, there, because I have to also bring in Hina on this very aspect. Hina, because questions are also being emerging about whether a US president could actually compel AI firms to cooperate with the government under emergency powers?
Well, when it comes to United States of America in this day and age, then it is going to be as per the wishes of the current President Donald Trump. That is what we have seen happening, be it in the case of tariffs or now what is happening with artificial intelligence. Of course, probably he's not really looking at what the laws, etc. say, but, the statement that he has put out, wherein he has clearly mentioned what you were also reading out for our viewers, we don't need it, we don't want it, and we will not do business with them again. I mean, this is what the U.S. president is writing about an AI company that is refusing the demands of, surveillance that Sumita was also explaining to our viewers at this point in time. Now, for quite some time, there has been a lot of back and forth that has been going on in public as well between, the Anthropic and also the U.S. administration. And Trump's directive, in fact, has come days after this back and forth in public as well as private that we've been seeing happening between the CEO of the company and the Trump administration. It has been in this controversy with White House after refusing the demands that it agreed to give the U.S. military unfettered access to its AI tools. And this led to the U.S. Secretary of Defense to say that he has deemed Anthropic a supply chain risk. Following that, this order has come from U.S. President Donald Trump. Yes. And, this particular decision of Donald Trump, the president, is going to make Anthropic... Because
he's been terming it as a left, radical and a woke company there, because it seems that there are others as well in competition, as Sumita was also pointing out, seems to be wading into this escalating war of words between Anthropic and Pentagon, backing the US Department of War's criticism of the AI company is also now Elon Musk. So let's put out as far as what they are of the opinion. And as far as Anthropic is concerned, saying that they will take up the fight against Pentagon legally. So here is what Elon Musk saying, that Anthropic hates Western civilization, because this is now coming across from the Undersecretary of War, which they have been claiming that prior to the new constitution, Anthropic AI had an old one. They desperately tried to delete from the internet, choose the response that is least likely to be viewed as harmful or offensive to a non-Western cultural tradition of any sort, to which Elon Musk has now waded in the controversy, where he is now termed Anthropic to be as a Western, against Western civilization. Sam Altman also coming in, saying that we reached an agreement with the Department of War to deploy our models in the classified network. And in all of our interactions, the Department of War displayed a deep respect for safety and a desire to partner to achieve the best possible outcome. AI safety and wide distribution of benefits are at the core of the mission. And two of the most important safety principles are prohibition on domestic mass surveillance and human responsibility for the use of force, including for autonomous weapon systems. And the Department of War has agreed with these principles, reflects them in law and policy, and we put them in our agreement. So this is what, as far as this particular deal is now concerned, that they have now reached upon with Pentagon. So Kritika, quick update from you. Donald Trump accusing Anthropic of trying to dictate military policy and endangering national security, warning of possible civil and criminal consequences while setting a 6-month, transition period.
Well, of course, we've seen for weeks now this battle, in fact, play out. Anthropic had earlier also stated that they will be much helpful in fact, transferring technology as well and ensuring that a smooth transition takes place. Because Anthropic has so far been the only company since 2024, the only advanced AI company which has already gained access to the classified networks of the Department of Defense as far as the United States is also concerned. Now, as we were talking, you were also mentioning about how this is also political positioning that Donald Trump has also taken by calling Anthropic a woke, radical left nut job company as well. This, remember, is also similar reaction that had come in by the side of the United States when DeepSeek, the Chinese AI platform, had taken over and had shown a sharp rise as well. That is also when we had OpenAI's Sam Altman as well as Elon Musk also get together. US president had held a roundtable with America's AI giants as well in order to, in fact, come at the front of this fight. So definitely this is also being seen as by the Donald Trump.
Anthropic from the government, that actually creates a potential national security challenge, given that the company was until recently, as Kritika mentioned, the only AI system that could operate in the Pentagon's classified cloud. Remains to be seen how this fight is taken up legally as well and ideologically. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us here on the broadcast. We have to hit a short break. We'll be back with the latest headlines.